Hi, students. I just wanted to talk to you real quickly about my view of the high moderns, which would include James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, T.S. Eliot, W.B. Yeats, and D.H. Lawrence, are quite similar in many ways to the Romantics, the six male Romantics of the first and second generation, in that both seem to carry a kind of romantic notion, idealistic, abstract notion that they can create a uh, mythological system to replace the old Christian tradition and system in order to give some kind of meaning to existence. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the moderns believe that there is meaning to the universe. It means, once again, that in a way we have sages most of the high moderns believe that there are believe in epiphanies, moments of vision, and that's very reminiscent of the Romantics. But once again, that doesn't mean that they believe in a God or that they believe that there is overall meaning to the universe. It means that they believe that as artists, they can create something powerful enough to provide some sense of wholeness and unity in the world, even though there isn't some. And I know that seems contradictory, but as F. Scott Fitzgerald said, the sign of a great mind is one that doesn't crack up, that can hold two distinctly opposing ideas in the mind at the same time without cracking up. And so you have T.S. Eliot, who creates an incredible dark vision of what it means to live without meaning. In his brilliant works, Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock and The Wasteland, and he creates a whole system of meaning, of sickness and disease. And then he's the kind of person who cannot live with that. He has a breakdown, and then he goes back to Christianity, and for the rest of his life writes what some consider very great poetry and plays around that. W.B. Yeats looks back to Blake, and W.B. Yeats creates a very weird mystical system about 1,000-year periods that change in violent ways and forms, and creates an incredible body of poetry based on that very admittedly strange system. Virginia Woolf believes in stream of consciousness, and that in order to get at the truth, or what seems to be the truth, to get at the real important part of life, we have to look through a veil and through a mist, and that her kind of writing is the kind of writing that will help us to get there. James Joyce turns to Ulysses and the old Greek and Roman epic, and says we live in an epic in the modern age, and it in fact is in Dublin. And he says, I'm gonna create a 24-hour period in which we have a modern debased Ulysses. He's just a regular Joe, as it is. But what that says is that all of us can live in an epic and find meaning in a meaningless world. And then D.H. Lawrence, completely different from all the rest, and completely unique, creates a system that's totally based on the body, and how the body is where we find truth and where we find profound and deep meaning. And so just keep that in mind as you read this literature of the high moderns in poetry.